The movie begins with a remark that explains that almost the entire population of Europe has died, and people have moved north to live more isolated lives. The action shifts to John, a special forces fighter. His superior, Commander Stone, says that in a town of 5,000 people, 3,000 have died, 1.5 thousand people have been helped, but there are still 500 more missing. A man asks John where these people have gone and threatens his wife. The hero tries to convince Stone that he has no idea where these people are, and he has no reason to hide them, but the cruel boss is not satisfied with such an answer, and he makes a hole in Amelia. Before her death, John manages to confess his love to the woman one last time. 3 years later, we see how the hero is still grieving and tormented by the departure of the woman he loves. Now he lives in a small house in the woods, secluded and quiet. In the dwelling, John exercises, chops wood for the hearth, and reads the art of war. However, no matter what the hero tries to do, his thoughts convulsively return to Stone or Amelia. To avoid them, John tries to occupy himself or has a drink. In a flashback, Stone apologizes to the man on the plane, saying that his wife was infected and it is unacceptable that hundreds and thousands will die because of one human being. During the dialogue, it turns out that for unknown reasons John has found immunity to the virus, and thanks to what it is possible to save people. The hero is brought to the ship to experiment on him to create a vaccine, but the special forces disarms the doctor. Running out of the cabin, the man sees the commander, who announces an alarm. Panicked, John, surrounded by howling sirens, tries to find a way out. The hero's memories are interrupted by a girl suddenly appearing from the bushes. She pitifully asks to be rescued, after which she loses consciousness. John brings the heroine to his home, and waking up, she is frightened by the slightly fierce appearance of her savior. The man promises that he will not hurt her, and says that it is necessary to remove the bullet to get rid of the infection. After warning the girl that it will be very painful, John proceeds with the operation. The heroine says her name is Marie, and the man sees that the bullet had a tracking device. John tries to find out who the girl was running away from, but Marie passes out in pain again. Later, the man says he's willing to take Marie in, but only for a couple days. We move back in time again, where John sees huge megacities that were inhabited by infected people burning and disappearing. Waking up, the hero sees that Marie decided to help him chop wood. However, he suggests that the girl rest and recover. The heroine goes into the house, and 3 special forces appear behind John's back. They say that a girl passed by, very dangerous, and ask if the hero noticed her. John's words that he did not see anyone, the military do not believe and decide to search the house. However, the hero disarms 2 of his opponents, and he hears a gunshot in the house. Bursting inside, John sees Marie, having disarmed the 3rd attacker. The hero takes the weapon from the military and talks to the girl, who says that he is hardly an ordinary lumberjack. John sends the heroine to clean up signs of the battle in the house, where she accidentally injures her finger, and explores the closets in search of a first aid kit. The action shifts to 2 military men discussing that the mercenaries sent to get the girl are long gone, which means they are already missing. The heroes agree not to report anything to the commander yet, and the woman, angry at the failure, knocks out all the new recruits, saying they are poorly trained. In the evening at the campfire, John asks Marie to tell how she got into this forest, and the girl willingly agrees to the story. In the form of a flashback, we watch the wounded heroine, surrounded by trees through which spotlights can be seen and dogs barking can be heard, trying to hide from her pursuers. The girl says that she then wakes up already in the house, and that she is anxious that there will be more people sent to look for her. John allows Marie to stay and tells her that the same people took his wife's life. The man promises that he will protect the heroine and in his house she will not be threatened. From the conversation with the girl, John again plunges into the memories of a sweet and caring wife, Amelia. When the man was working, she baked his favorite cake and came to please her husband. The couple was very happy together, but now John will never be able to feel Amelia's touch again. In real time, a man builds a roadblock when Marie asks why he isn't afraid. John replies that fear is only an illusion, but pain and death are real. The hero continues to protect his house from future guests, patching the windows with boards, making traps nearby. While dining by the fire, Marie suddenly says that people have found a cure, and John asks why he needs this information. With a sigh, the girl replies that the vaccine is her, or rather, her blood. But the heroine does not want it to belong to the brutal military, to whom it will give even more power. The vaccine is the property of all people. Marie asks John to help her, but the hero refuses and leaves. Soon the man asks where the girl learned how to handle weapons. Marie tells that, having become an orphan, began to rob ATMs, and then to engage in armed attacks. Soon the heroine was caught and went to jail for 10 years for her crimes, so the virus epidemic she experienced behind bars, and after her release she was taken to the lab. The next day, John teaches the girl to shoot more accurately to deal with those who come after her. Soon the mercenaries show up and are ordered to bring the girl, and the woodcutter is to be dealt with. John, hearing noises outside the house, goes to the toilet. When the mercenaries open the door, they are unpleasantly surprised to find the woodcutter holding a gun. At the same time, a third man sneaks in and takes Marie hostage, threatening to end the girl's life. However, even here John finds a way out, shooting the enemy with a bow and freeing his guest. The man says that in half an hour another shipment will arrive, but this time more, and it is necessary to prepare. Marie asks how they will manage, and John shows off his impressive stockpile of weapons. The hero believes that they will be able to hold out until winter, then it will be a little more difficult. Before the battle, John and Marie put on bulletproof vests, additionally strengthen the security of their home. However, when the girl goes to get water, she is caught by a huge detachment of military men. They convey to Stone that they have taken the target. However, after this message, the fierce and ruthless John suddenly appears and takes out a squad of his worst enemy. Together with him, Marie continues the defense, defending herself from the incoming fighters. Stone once again gives orders that the lumberjack can be eliminated, but the girl is obliged to stay alive. John and his partner effectively eliminate all the enemies, but their number grows uncontrollably. Victims come out of the game from bullets, fire, knives, and other weapons, thoughtfully stockpiled by John after leaving the special forces. Exhausted after a long and grueling battle, the heroes begin to clear the neighborhood. Furious at the failure, Stone waits for data on the number of casualties. The last squad informs the granite fighter about the tunnel under the house, but the connection is cut off due to Marie's attack. John praises the girl and goes into the forest to the remnants of the enemy's mercenaries. At this time Stone offers his men to use the tunnel system to capture the fugitive and eliminate the woodcutter, who has dealt with almost all the squads. John's advancement is delayed by a fighter in charge of all the squads, who once served with the hero and recognized him. A knife fight ensues between the men, and after a while John is knocked out. Meanwhile, Marie continues to set traps. The girl is attacked by 3 fighters, but she manages to deal with them quite skillfully and gracefully. John is almost eliminated, but the radio unexpectedly receives a message about the movement of the target, Marie, and the opponent leaves the hero. The girl is wounded and falls to the ground. John's co-worker gets close to her, ready to complete his mission and earn his boss's reward and praise. At this time, John finally regains consciousness and heads to the lake to protect Marie. The head of the squads carries the senseless girl on his shoulder, and is about to go through the tunnels to deliver his cargo safely. The man tries to report that their enemy is John Wood, but fails due to poor communications. John hears this message over the walkie-talkies of the exited fighters, and makes his way lightning fast to the tunnel to protect and rescue Marie from Stone and his men. The commander, anticipating the imminent arrival of his victim, speaks to the fighters and says that they will rule the world. The speech of the future Napoleon is interrupted by one of his men, saying that the head of the squads with the girl never came out of the tunnel. For this news, Stone destroys the guy. John sneaks into the tunnel and tries to deal with his former colleague, and a fierce confrontation ensues between the men. The hero manages to deal with the enemy, and together with Marie he tries to leave. However, the tunnel is filled with people. Stone, blinded by rage, decided to send all the fighters to catch the girl. John protects Marie as promised, dealing with the mercenaries who caught up with them. The tunnel fills with smoke and bursts of gunfire. The heroes are outnumbered, but they do not give up as they continue to fight the hordes of enemies. Marie and John slowly back away as granite attacks them, but her attack is also repelled. Exhausted and tired from the endless battles, the heroes do make it out of the tunnel. However, John says goodbye to a weeping Marie and goes back to protect her. The hero leads the squads away behind him and receives many wounds. On his way out of the tunnel, he meets Stone, surrounded by fighters and clapping snidely at the appearance of his former employee. The commander says he now understands why no one could handle the mysterious lumberjack. Stone orders the fighters not to dispose of the man just yet, for it is an old friend of his. John responds to this statement by saying that they are much closer than friends, to which Stone replies that he can't get any closer, even though he is his brother. The commander says that his father has always favored him, but now John is at his complete mercy. Stone orders him to tell him where Marie is, but when met with silence, he says that his brother could use a little beating. John is forced to dialogue with batons, but he continues to say that he took the girl's life. Seeing the commander walk away, leaving him in protective custody, John says the man is afraid of a half-dead man. Stone accepts the challenge and decides to have a hand-to-hand showdown with his brother. After a short struggle, John wins, but his enemy snatches a weapon from a nearby fighter and threatens the hero. But here the hero gains the upper hand, taking away the weapon and taking Stone out of the game. For this he is thanked by Granite, who says that she has wanted to do this for a long time. Suddenly, Marie appears from the tunnel with grenades. The girl threatens to kill everyone and offers a deal. She goes with the fighters voluntarily in exchange for John's life. The heroine is put in a helicopter and heralds the advent of a new era of rule of the Chosen. However, Marie managed to leave her blood to John and left a note asking him to give it to the people. This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this movie, and see you in new videos.